In both Fargo and Fergus Falls, we have 3 different 10-week sessions. The first is called Coping with Life Alone, then Rebuilding, and finally Building Happiness. Looking at Coping with Life Alone, we'll see that in the past we had called them levels. So Coping with Life Alone was level 1, Rebuilding was level 2, and the Rebuilding book looked like this once upon a time, and now we have a newer edition that has an appendix that talks about divorced people.
Widowed and widowers.
Widows and widowers, not just divorced people. And then the Building Happiness is another workbook similar to the Coping with Life Alone. Once upon a time, they also had a level 4 that was talking about a communication class that you could do with a partner. And sometimes that partner might be a potential marriage partner, but sometimes it could be just a friend, and they didn't have to be heterosexual male-female. It could be 2 female friends or 2 male friends as well. And level 5 back in the 80s was also premarital counseling. And in our Fargo team, we've had a number of participants who have been widowed, who initially went through beginning experience because of the death of a spouse or a divorce in the 80s, met a spouse, brought them through all 5 levels, and we found that the rate of having a successful marriage was almost 95%, which was just fabulous. And we didn't learn that until some of our recent participants passed away, and we went to funerals and met these big groups of people that were still loving and supporting of those couples. So looking at Coping with Life Alone.
Yes, as Mary said, originally the program was just called Coping with Life Alone, but the program has recently been redone, revised a little bit. And it's called Moving Forward with Hope, Coping with Life Alone. And that provides a workbook for the participant, and then the coordinator would have like a binder like this that they would work from. And you also could have, for someone that's coming to share maybe their story for that week, they can just look at this manual for the presenting team, and it gives them the prayer service and the Bible reading and then the questions, but it's not written in the same way as the workbook that gives the participant the space to write the answers to their questions while they are at the class. And what's nice is you can tell people that they really don't have outside homework. They can just come and do the work at the class. But what happens is as the weeks go by, the people like to do their homework ahead, so at the time when they're normally working on it, they can talk with each other and get closer as a group, and they do develop quite a cohesive bond that is unexplainable. We call it in Fergus Falls, we say, let BE work its magic with the group, and the participants together are so good friends with each other.
The second session is called Rebuilding When Your Relationship Ends, and it's based off a book that was written by Bruce Fisher, and he has his own program, and he charges, what does he charge?
Almost $1,000 to go to a program, like a weekend or a program.
But many years ago, back in the 80s, he gave Beginning Experience the rights to be able to use his book and to use the questions that were created for Beginning Experience. And Father Wendy Vetter also did videos that accompany each of the chapters. And Kim has those DVDs here, and you can see that those have been professionally done. They maybe need a little bit of a revamping because they were done before he passed away. But the information that Father Wendy has to offer is timeless. Whether you're getting divorced in the 80s or getting divorced in 2007 or beyond, you're going to find that those kinds of things that he's sharing with you really hit the heart. And you can just tell that the Holy Spirit was working with that priest.
And as I have led this class in our area, Fergus Falls, for probably the last 5 years, and we've worked with feedback of our participants, and we have typically in the last few years had more widows and widowers than we've had divorced people, and they often felt that this book did not quite address their needs as well. So then I had also in the last few years just added this book called the Grief Recovery Handbook, and this is John James and Russell Friedman, and similar to Bruce Fisher having his own, I'll call it a ministry or counseling, these two fellows have their grief recovery. So you could go to, and I think theirs is out of Colorado, and you could go to a grief recovery thing, but we are just using this because it addresses more of the needs of the widows and widowers. So we do kind of a combination with the Bruce Fisher, with the Father Wendelin DVDs, and then with this Grief Recovery Handbook. And anyone that would want to do it, I could sure reach out and tell you kind of what we do to make it work.